How are you feeling?
Oh, good. I can't say that I mind it being a bit of a shorter day. That'll be nice.
No hills. I'm disappointed with that.
There are hills, I hate to tell you this. There's always hills. It's a great day for a walk.
Off we go at 9:05.
Now 9:05 means it's just a little past sunrise. Here we go.
Constructed pilgrims.
Yeah. Oh, picture right there.
Big fat ones. Look at the pebbles. Got these guys crossing right here.
what you doing?
Second coffee for the morning. It's our midday break. We're halfway there in 2 hours.
Got the big climb coming up.
Little Gasolino por la Camino. These kids, you said, look behind you.
Car up. Said do it again. No, no, no. Woo!
Either way, sometimes they remember through an implant.
So then there's a one there, yeah, so it's like, well.
De todas formas, tenéis aquí lavadora.
Okay.
Start. Yeah.
And the other thing is we can kind of, it's still really wet by the evening.
Yeah, we have.
Again, we score with a really cute apartment.
Pilgrims, can you believe that this is the end of day 24, our 24th stage? We've been doing this for 24 days. It's hard to even imagine that. I'm trying to remember back to the first week or two, and details are blurring together.
I remember the first climb out of a room. That's very good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we have to do this for the next 34 days.
And
5
yet
days.
today we had a 400-foot climb in about a half a mile, and it was over before we knew it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, today we walked from Cadaveda to Luarca. Luarca's a really cute little coastal port, a tourist area, tourist town. So it's a very pleasant town to be in.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
And we stayed out of the rain on our walk today, and there is no rain until the afternoon. We're snug here, and with the rain falling outside.
It was kind of a recovery day. It wasn't really a long day. It was only about 10 Camino miles and 11 Strava miles, and not a lot of climbing, only about 900 foot. So it was good to have kind of a couple of lower number days. Tomorrow's going to be a big day, of a big distance and some climbing. So I don't know about you guys. I feeling a lot better, and the body's feeling a lot better from the last couple days.
Yeah, it feels good. Feels real good.
Basically, we've had 3 Neros, 3 half days in a row, and that's been excellent for recovery. I think we're all in the best possible shape we could be in for what will probably be a nearly 20-mile day tomorrow.
Yeah. Lots of changes on the Camino though in the last couple of days. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of the pilgrims we had been walking with, and we're seeing a lot of pilgrims who seem to be out doing short sections. So German and Dutch primarily.
And Spanish.
The Spanish.
Spanish, yeah. That have like a 2-week break, and they're chunking out a section of the Camino as their vacation, which is very cool.
Yeah.
It was fun though. The group from Spain, they had a patch on their pack. It caught my attention. It had a penguin with a Camino hat on it, and it said Antarctica. So I asked them, tried to get them to explain the story behind it, and someone from the Spanish Navy, one of the people in the group, they had a ship down in Antarctica, and they decided to organize some of the crew to, at the end of, when they sailed back from Antarctica to Spain, then they would walk a Camino. So it was a fun little story. And they were, so they had done that, and now they're doing section hiking the Camino Norte. So it's all the fun little stories of talking to everybody about why they're doing it or what they've done.
Yeah, we had lunch with some new pilgrim friends, Kenton and Tim and Phil. That was fun. We arrived in town, actually. We arrived at lunchtime.
Yeah, that was a first.
Yeah, I know.
To have lunch in the town that we're going to sleep in.
Yeah.
Now, is nobody going to mention the delicious cake we had for breakfast?
Oh,
Actually, I was just going to say something about breakfast, but yeah, it was our first tarta de Santiago.
Yeah.
Made there at the place we stayed last night.
Yeah, so homemade.
Actually, the other thing I was going to mention about breakfast, people heard us often talking about tortilla for breakfast, which in the United States, tortillas, everybody knows what a tortilla is for what you use for tacos and burritos. But here it's a
Like a
kind
frittata.
of like a frittata.
Made
It's
with
usually
potatoes.
eggs and potatoes. Sometimes they put ham or pimentos in it. But what they call a tortilla française, a French tortilla, is actually what we would call an omelet. And this morning the place was kind of, they would make whatever egg dish you kind of wanted within reason, and they made a really good cheese
They did.
omelet.
I think they balked a little bit at the addition of cheese to this thing, but it was delicious.
They did a good job.
Yeah.
Very good.
They probably felt compelled to add tuna. They thought it was strange that we didn't have tuna in our eggs.
Yeah, I mentioned before, that's a common combination for breakfast sandwiches is tuna and eggs.
And salads have tuna, and
That's popular.
lunch has tuna.
We just had a great dinner at the Black Pearl, which is just around the corner from this apartment. And there was a nice mix of people there. When we first got there, it was all fellow pilgrims. And then by the time we left, it was families moving in from, to eat their regular meal at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Different schedule around here. But we're learning to live the pilgrim life. We're learning to kind of deal with the Spanish schedule and try to just go with the flow.
Yep.
Well, thanks for joining us. It's been wonderful having you come along with us on the trail, and we really appreciate all the feedback and questions and comments. Buen
Buen
Camino.